right, good.
Powered by Riverside.
What's going on, everybody? And welcome into a brand new episode of the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Codd, and alongside of me is my co-host, Jake Belts. What's up, Jake?
What's up, Matt? Good weekend?
Yeah, exhausting weekend, but
Yeah,
hey.
very exhausting. For you, more than me, but
Yeah, as you guys can tell, recording in a new studio. Pretty excited about that. We are still the official voice of NASCAR in the southeast corner of Pennsylvania. Don't know if I can say Delaware Valley anymore, considering the fact now I'm in the Lehigh Valley, but you're in the
yeah.
Delaware Valley. So, southeast corner of Pennsylvania, voice of NASCAR, Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. Welcome on in, folks, this evening. Loaded show on tap for all of our guests this evening. We got tons to talk about with Atlanta. Brackets, baby, brackets. Dick Vitale. NASCAR in season tournament. Listen, you and I filled out a bracket. The world filled out a bracket, and man, oh man, it did not work out for anybody. Anybody.
Did not.
I will say though, there was a special podcaster, not giving myself a pat on the back, that picked the race winner. So again, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to picking race winners, man. I do.
He didn't win for you this week. He didn't even finish a damn race.
So uh, let's start on that real quick. That topic, right, with Chase Elliott. Um,
I picked him.
I said this, right? I think the more shit we talk about on the 9 team about 20th place or better finishes, we were destined eventually for a race victory from the 9. So I think my goal now moving forward is I'm just going to talk shit on Chase Elliott and say he's a mediocre driver that his daddy got him into NASCAR. No, I'm not going to say that part.
No, I
but
picked him. Hey, Matt, I literally picked him off of the. He finishes 20th or better. Why would you not pick him?
Yeah, and well, that's the whole thing, right? Like, I mean, I guess, and we'll talk more in the Chase Elliott later in this episode too, but you knew eventually it was going to come. That race victory was going to come, but when was it going to happen, right? How many times did we see the 9 so close, basically from the start of last year in the playoff run? He got to Martinsville. We thought, listen, I was at that race, beautiful fall day, but um, he almost won that race last year at Martinsville, almost punched his ticket into the round of 4. Ryan Blaney ended up winning, but it was, the consistency kind of finally paid off. 20th place, 20, above 20th finishes and all that type of stuff. All you needed him to do is just be aggressive. And guess what happens? He gets aggressive this week. Granted, the whole field wrecks, but at the same time, he got aggressive when it counted and it put the 9 car in the victory lane this week.
Yeah, and I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff on Facebook and other things are like, oh, it was a gimme win. He had no competition. I mean, and don't count out Brad K. I mean, that guy raced him hard all fucking night, but you can say that, oh, half the field was gone. Really good racers, really good drivers were gone, and there was really no competition. But in NASCAR, man, a win's a win. It ain't easy to come across a win in NASCAR. You got a lot of talent out there on that track. I mean, it's not. And I give my hat off to Elliott. And I mean, dude, the way that car looked, I think he would have won if there was no big wreck. I really do. He looked really good.
Absolutely. So, again, we'll be circling back to Chase Elliott later in this episode. But, Jake, loaded show on tap for our guests this evening. First of all, if you love what you're hearing, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Spotify. We'll have all the episodes basically on our streaming services for your viewership if you're unable to join us live. Also, while we are live, Blown Engine chat line wide open. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter your opinion. Give us your opinion about anything. Race, Prime, which we'll get to that in a second, because for everyone that said NASCAR's killing themselves with going on Prime instead of cable television, well, guess what? They went back to cable television. The numbers were not there. I'm just saying. But also, like I said, if you enjoy listening to us, again, follow us on all of our subscriptions. We have fast headliners this evening, courtesy of jski.com. And then we're going to basically be talking about Atlanta, and then we'll be coming up with our Chicago race picks this weekend. We're at the street course this week. Man, I mean, we are halfway through this 2025 season, folks. Getting closer to the playoff hunt, getting close to the playoffs. Follow us all leading into the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs in 2025. So, Jake, let's kick things off like we usually do with fast headliners, courtesy of jski.com. Follow them on X, Facebook, or web at www.jski.com. First up on the board, Ryan Blaney. Big news coming out of Ryan Blaney. Him and his wife, Gianna, end up officially announcing that they are expecting a child in the near future. It was announced on Instagram today. I want to say congratulations to both of them. And actually a fun backstory. Gianna Tulia, or what's her last name?
Gianna Tulia. I went to high school with her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So a little connection there, a little connection. Yeah.
It's weird, man. I mean, having a kid with my least favorite driver, but I mean, hey, congratulations. I look for that to everybody, but I mean, pretty cool. I mean, I went to middle school. I went all through middle school with her, and then 10th grade, and then she transferred. But yeah, I mean, congratulations to both of them.
Yeah, big news coming from Ryan Blaney and his wife Gianna there. Second update this week, Big Spiz will be sponsoring AJ Allmendinger at Sonoma. Big Spiz is a wine-based, ready-to-drink cocktail at 16% alcohol by volume. It's a nice and toasty beverage there. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah,
not a wine guy, but I might have to say, I might have to try one of those.
But
update number 3, R3 and Richard Childress. They announced a strategic technology partnership for Austin Dillon's number 3 team. Next update this week, Work Money joins Legacy Motor Club as the official partner in bold push to empower working Americans. So we kind of see like Legacy kind of, getting into that next step, adding more sponsorships and all that type of stuff. So good to see them add another sponsorship into the repertoire for Legacy Motor Club. Final update, two updates, final 2 updates this week from jski.com. RFK Racing's president, Steve Newmark, is hired by University of North Carolina as Executive Associate Athletic Director. So for all you college football fans, guess who is reporting to Steve Newmark starting this season? That's right, one Bill Belichick. So lots of NASCAR connections among other sports, right? You got LeBron James with RFK Racing. You got Michael Jordan in the sport. Now all of a sudden you got RFK Racing president going over to be the executive associate athletic director at UNC. Bill Belichick will be and again Bill Belichick will be reporting to him. Final update this week, courtesy of jski.com. We have Arby's will be advertising their new Angus cheesesteak sandwich at the Chicago Street Course this weekend at Chicago. So I don't know how I feel about Arby's doing a cheesesteak, especially from the area we live in.
I ain't gonna eat it.
No, hell no.
I mean, maybe if you're out west and you don't know what a real cheesesteak is, you can have it, but
I feel like, so off topic of NASCAR, I feel like it's like kind of like it's in our culinary DNA, I guess you can say, to make your own cheesesteak, like with real chip steak and real cheese and a nice roll from, Amoroso down in Philadelphia. And I read that and I'm like, I'm appalled. I'm kind of appalled. I'm like, this is the best we're going to advertise to the fans in Chicago what a cheesesteak's supposed to taste like. Like, I know they screwed up pizza to begin with, right, with the deep dish. I understand that part, but now we're going to torture these poor people with this Angus cheesesteak sandwich at the Chicago Street Course. Kind of embarrassing there, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, way off the topic, but you come down to the Philly area and on the outskirts, you know what a cheesesteak is. We know when we eat a bad cheesesteak. Like, this is not no. And if you live around the area, you kind of have a grasp on how you make a cheesesteak. And funny story, real quick. I mean, I was down in Florida with my fiance one time, and I got a freaking cheesesteak from a Hooters. And she's like, "You got a freaking cheesesteak?" I ate that thing, man, and I was like, "Take me back to fucking Philly, because this ain't fucking shit."
No,
know a good cheesesteak. If you live in the Philadelphia in the suburb area, you know a good cheesesteak, and trust me, you ain't gonna find anyone better than. And if you think out west you're eating good cheesesteaks, you ain't fucking eating one yet.
No, and I think the funniest thing is too, I think the funniest thing is like when I was out west, out in Arizona, right, and they were like Philly cheese. So anytime we leave like the area, right. I know we are way off topic of NASCAR, but now Arby's kind of irritated me when they advertise his cheesesteak to Chicago fans. Like, first of all, this is the last year of the Chicago Street Course, and
Yep.
now all of a sudden it's like, hey, how do we not keep these fans? Let's advertise this stupid ass Angus cheesesteak that they're going to all get heartburn from, and probably have mushrooms and peppers
Yep.
and onion. First of all, the cheesesteak it literally is fried onions, cheese, steak, roll, call it a day. That is it. That is it. No peppers, none of this bullshit that they love to put on.
You don't put fucking sauce on a fucking cheesesteak.
Oh.
Like, like I get it. There's people who don't like onions. I don't like onions. I don't put onions on mine. But man, when you're having a cheesesteak, it's a cheese, steak, and a bun. You don't put all this extra bullshit on there.
But when I was out west, like I said, anytime I go outside the Philadelphia metro area, they're like, oh, you guys got to try it. This is the best cheesesteak in town. And like, listen, there's some areas up near us in like Upper Bucks County, Lower Lehigh Valley that's like, try this cheesesteak. It's so good. And it's like best cheesesteak north of Philadelphia. It's the worst thing I've ever had in my entire life. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at some of those bars out near Lake Nockamixon, by the way. Okay. It kind of embarrassing. You actually embarrassed me when I tried it. It was disgusting. But yeah, sorry for all the fans going to Chicago this weekend.
Do not try Arby's cheesesteak because you're going to be disappointed.
Please,
you might think it tastes good, but it don't.
It's not. I mean, maybe if you're drunk, maybe if you're really, really drunk and
you just need something to eat.
Course, yeah, just to sober up. But there's so many good restaurants in Chicago. Like, why would you even like want to attempt that? Like, God, I'm kind of sorry, folks, for everyone listening to us live. I can't. I couldn't with that article. I was just like, wow, that's pretty embarrassing. But again, all fast headliners, courtesy of jski.com. Follow them on X, Facebook, or web at www.jski.com. Jake, we had a massive headliner coming out of this weekend in the NASCAR garage. Daniel Suarez announced on Twitter, same with Trackhouse Racing, that he will not be returning to Trackhouse in 2026. Article is courtesy of Bob Pockrass of Fox Sports. We'll post this up on our Facebook page at the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast after the show for your reading viewership. Daniel Suarez won't return to Trackhouse Racing next season, making him the most notable free agent looking for a 2026 ride. Suarez and the team made the announcement Tuesday afternoon. There was no announcement of a replacement, but Trackhouse development driver Connor Zilisch is expected to replace Suarez in the 99. Zilisch is fifth in the Xfinity Series standings with 2 victories for Junior Motorsports. Just like the seasons in a year, sometimes things change, and we have agreed to each go our own direction, Suarez said in a social media post. More on his post. Trackhouse and I have mutually agreed to part ways at the end of the 2025 season. I've had some of the best years of my Cup Series career at Trackhouse. We have had great successes as a team, and I gained some incredible friends. We took a team nobody had even heard of in 2021, and in just a couple of years, we were winning races and running up front on a weekly basis. Just like the seasons in a year, sometimes things change, and we have agreed to each go in our own direction. I wish Trackhouse nothing but the best. This 99 team will always be a special part of me. And like I always say, the best is ahead. That was Suarez's Twitter post the other night. Daniel Suarez right now is 33 years old. He sits 29th in the series standings. The only Mexican-born driver to win a Cup race and the only one to win a National Series title, which was his 2016 Xfinity Series title. Suarez has 2 career victories and 305 Cup starts. The original driver for Trackhouse Racing in 2021, Suarez's 5-year tenure with the organization has been the longest of his Cup career. He spent 2 years at Joe Gibbs Racing, 1 with Stewart Haas Racing, and 1 year at Gaunt Brothers Racing before being signed by Trackhouse Racing. Again, we'll post this article on our Facebook page, the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. Lengthy article. We'll definitely want you to take a look at it as well. Jake, let's start off tonight's discussion with our fans. And again, if you're listening to us live, chime on in at the Blown Engine chat line to discuss your thoughts on Daniel Suarez. But I'm going to start off with you, Jake, about your thoughts on Daniel Suarez. This was a massive move, in my opinion, by Trackhouse. What are your thoughts?
No, dude, I read that and I was like, I didn't even know what to say. I'm like, really? I mean, I get it from what Daniel Suarez is good at. I mean, he's good at road courses, but he has improved. I feel like he's improved year after year on ovals. Like I just think he's gotten better. Like I mean, I get it. His finishes don't show it, but I was like, I was a little mind boggled. Like, really? And I'm going to put a prediction out there and I'm going to tell you exactly what car he's going to go into. And I'll put money on it. He's going to take over that 35 car for 23 XI. Telling you right now, that's where it goes.
It's interesting.
I mean, why are you going to continue to have a Riley Herbst who his finishes are horrible? He's never in a race. And you got a guy who's throwing millions of dollars out there who all he knows is how to shoot a fucking basketball. Why would you not bring somebody in that knows how to win? Suarez knows how to win. Why would you not bring him in? That is the car that he needs to be in. And I think that's the team he needs to go with. I 100%, when I read that, I'm like, he's going 23 XI. Riley Herbst is out. But I think Trackhouse made a horrible choice. I think they fumbled the bag. I get it that he wasn't performing probably what the team wanted him to perform at, but neither is fucking his other teammate. SVG. You got one guy on that team that is in a race every fucking week. And if he's not, you hear him next week. But you have SVG who's won one race, and that's the only race he's going to win.
Yeah.
But you take out, I think they got rid of the wrong guy. That's just my opinion. I think they got rid of the wrong guy. I would rather them get rid of SVG because he's not like, I'm not going to knock talent when there's talent. I mean, he knows how to race a car, but look what he finishes out on ovals. He's not that good. That 88 car is never in contention to win. When I think of Daniel Suarez, I'm like, he's an outlier. Like, he could be in it or he couldn't be. But that's just my opinion. I think Trackhouse Racing totally just fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, so you obviously, like, you brought up some interesting points there. Number one, I think a lot of fans probably agree with you in regards to SVG. I think SVG to me has been kind of, I don't want to say a massive disappointment, but I expected a little bit better, especially with his, knowledge of racing supercars over in New Zealand, coming over here. And it's very difficult to top off what you did in your first ever start, winning a race, right? But that's what he was brought there to do in Chicago. Him winning Chicago back in 2023 shouldn't have been a surprise to his fan base. Project 99 or Project 91, excuse me, brought SVG in specifically to go win that race, and he did. So, yes, SVG is a very good road racer. I do, and kind of at this point with Suarez being taken out, kind of to me puts SVG a little bit on the hot seat. It does. I mean, he's probably going to win road. He's always going to be in contention for road courses. He's definitely going to be in contention this weekend. There's no doubt about it. But at the same time, if you're averaging probably a rough number, like mid-20s on ovals, that's not going to cut it. The goal is to win championships. Now, do I think Suarez was a championship caliber driver? Absolutely not. I don't. 2 Cup career wins and 305 starts. To me, that's just not going to make or break it, especially with this organization trying to take that next step at Trackhouse. But the one thing that I believe in one thing I do believe is that Justin Marks and this organization did not think that if Connor Zilisch was not ready to go, they wouldn't have made the move to get rid of Daniel Suarez at the end of the season.
No, I mean, I think the Connor Zilisch putting him in there is huge. I mean, I think that's great for the team. The kid brings talent. Before I even heard Connor Zilisch's name, fulfilling that 99 car, he was the first person that came to my mind. It was either him or Jesse Love. I'm like, it's got to be one of them.
But you definitely knew it was going to be Connor Zilisch just because of all the sponsorship wrap-ups with Trackhouse Racing, right? And this move to me says that, hey, this is a generational talent. I cannot lose this guy. He is winning races at the Xfinity level. We have to make a move. Now, you weren't going to probably can SVG after one season, even though he's been a massive disappointment. And outside the win at Mexico City and possibly a big threat on the road courses, you had to get rid of Suarez to open that seat up. Now, the other thing, too, that sucks is that the new charter system kind of screwed Trackhouse out. They signed all these guys a couple years ago to these contracts. Zane Smith was part of that. SVG was part of that. Connor Zilic was part of that. They were expecting to have a 4-car operation, not 3. The new charter system, only Joe Gibbs Racing and Hendrick Motorsports got 4 charters because they were grandfathered in. Now, in regards to Suarez, what is the next step for Daniel Suarez? And to me, this is going to be the biggest. It's going to be the biggest enigma going into 2026. And here's why: one, he's had multiple top rides throughout his whole entire career. He's had Joe Gibbs Racing, the number 19, when Carl Edwards retired. Then he went to Stewart Haas Racing in the number 41. That's when Stewart Haas Racing was winning races, folks. It's not what it was last year. They were winning a lot of races. He ended up getting kicked to the curb for Cole Custer. 2020, I'll give him some slack. Gaunt Brothers Racing. 2021, in an on-charter organization at Trackhouse, made a name for it. But this organization at Trackhouse Racing is trying to take that next step. Daniel Suarez only winning 2 races and 305 career starts is not going to cut it.
But I mean, I mean, not to cut you off, Matt, but I look at it like this way: like there's Cup guys who are racing in Xfinity Series races. You see a lot of Hendrick.
Yeah.
And you're losing to them by like huge numbers. Like, yeah. I'm going to agree with you. The guy who should be in it is Connor Zilic. I'll give it to him. Like, I think the kid can come in and give Trackhouse Racing what they need. This young, talented driver. But when you're racing, and I mean, I hate to say it because I know I'm a fan of him, but when you're racing a Larson and you're losing by 10 plus seconds to the second guy, not even the second guy, you're going to get swallowed up in some of these ovals. You're going to get swallowed up. And that's why I love when a Cup guys race in Xfinity Series, because it's like, are you ready?
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
And Larson makes a good point about it. Like, I like beating up on him because it'd be like, okay, yeah, you think you have talent? Well, when I beat the second place car by 10 seconds, you're not even a second place car, you're not ready. But yeah. I would not hate Connor Zilic coming to the Cup Series, but I think Daniel Suarez got looked over. Maybe you put him in a team like 23XI that has the money, has the backup for sponsorships, has a huge Toyota, everything. I think you see him win 2 races a year. But Trackhouse Racing, I feel like, is you hired Suarez, you hired SVG. You're like, oh, here's 2 guys that can win you a road course. And he can win you a fucking championship because there ain't no damn fucking road course in a championship series. What are you trying to get at? You just want to be on a podium for 2 races a year? Or 3 races a year if you're lucky? But there's guys like Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell, Ty Gibbs that can race on road courses. So it's a gamble. And I hate it. That's just my opinion.
No, it's very valid points. I do think that Connor, in my personal opinion, folks, I do believe Connor Zilic is ready. And I think that you can't hold the kid down much longer. I think and again, with Trackhouse Racing, the goal is to go win championships at this point. You got close in 2022 with Ross Chastain. You're getting close with Ross Chastain. If you try to get another car in there with Connor Zilic, who is a generational prospect, Daniel Suarez, unfortunately, with prospects, when we watch them, there comes a point in time where the prospect is no longer a prospect, and he's just not a failed prospect, but he's just another guy. Now, in regards to where I think Daniel Suarez is going to go, I really didn't think of the 35 of 23XI. I did not. He was with Toyota early in his career. He was with Toyota with Gaunt Brothers Racing. I do think that he had a good reputation with Toyota. That could be a good landing spot. I also believe that Colleague Racing has a lot of uncertainties with not AJ Allmendinger, but the other car. And to me, with Colleague, it's almost like, where do you see yourself? Is Ty Dillon your answer? Probably not at this point. Maybe going over to Colleague could make a lot of sense. Daniel Suarez is very marketable with Coca-Cola. He's got his amigos. He's a very marketable driver. So wherever he ends up, I do believe the sponsorships are going to follow. But at the same time, it's if you're Daniel Suarez, do you really want to you in 2020 you ran for a very piss poor organization, Gaunt Brothers Racing. Do you want to make that jump back down to a second tier program like that again? Or do you want to make that do you want to continue trying to elevate your career path?
I mean, even when he went to Trackhouse, I mean, that was still a second tier organization when he first went there. I mean, they and people got to understand this. Like, I get it. You watch races every week. Anybody can win. I get that. But if you're not a Hendrick car, you're not a RFK car, you're not a
Gibbs.
Penske car, you're not a Gibbs car. Like, you're fighting on Saturday for a qualifying spot, and you're fighting on Sunday to win a race.
Yeah.
Now, that's why I think, and it's nothing against Riley Herbst, but I'm like, get Daniel Suarez in there. He's won races. He knows what he's doing. Riley Herbst is just like another car running around the fucking track. If you had to qualify to get into a race every fucking week, and you had to actually qualify against 50 cars, Riley Herbst is in them maybe 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I mean,
but Daniel Suarez is like you said. Daniel Suarez, why are you going to take a step back and go to a team that's like, well, we're at where Trackhouse was when you joined them?
Yeah, I think Daniel Suarez. Excuse me, folks. I think Daniel Suarez at this point in his career, to me, I think that he's like, I'm not rebuilding from the ground up.
No,
but at the same time, if you look around at his track record, his data, his record, or, stats, Daniel Suarez does not scream top tier equipment anymore. He just doesn't. He's 33 years old. And again, 33 years old and you got 2 career victories and 305 career starts does not indicate to me that you're just out of left field going to start winning races in that next organization, especially with the data they got with JGR. And on top of it, the data that they got from Stewart-Haas Racing when Stewart-Haas Racing was winning races at that time. It's an interesting move. Like I said, this to me screams that Connor Zilisch is ready to go, 1. Number 2, could this be the end of Daniel Suarez in the Cup Series? Possibly. But I didn't think of the 23XI idea. Riley Herbst, folks, is horrible. And when you have 23XI and Trackhouse are kind of in similar situations. They're honestly looking to compete for championships at this point. They've been around the Cup Series now for what? Since 2021. So this will be now 4.5 seasons. Both organizations have made the round of 4. Last year, 23XI with Tyler Reddick. 2022, Trackhouse with Ross Chastain. At this point, they got to start searching for stars to get those cars into the championship 4 because there's a lot of money going into both organizations. And when drivers are not winning races at this point, you need a Cup 8. And I think that's what Trackhouse Racing did because, again, folks, Connor Zilisch is the real deal.
Oh, yeah.
Connor Zilisch is the real deal. And he's going to be legit. Generational prospect. Get ready to hear his name a lot. Article courtesy of Bob Pockers of Fox Sports. Trackhouse Racing announced that Daniel Suarez will no longer be with the organization starting in 2026. So, all right. Pretty interesting topic.
I'm sad about it. I mean, I wasn't happy when I read it, but
no, it sucks when you see someone like that kind of lose their ride because I mean, again, you look at what he was there from the start of Trackhouse Racing, right? He led the Bristol. So you look back at all the highlights of his career at Trackhouse. He led the Bristol Dirt Race in the inaugural race, and then he won at Sonoma. He won that photo finish at Atlanta last year, but unfortunately, when you're sitting 29th in the points, it's just not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it.
And I get it for Trackhouse, but I'm a Daniel Suarez fan.
You amigo?
I'm an
amigo. All right. Speaking of which, Atlanta. We had Atlanta this week. Nick Sanchez won Friday night's race. Good to see Nick Sanchez win that race, his first career Xfinity Series win. I like Nick Sanchez a lot. I liked him at the Trucks last year. I thought that, he went into not a top tier Xfinity program, but a program that could compete with wins with a talent like Nick Sanchez. So it's good to see Nick Sanchez end up pulling off his first career victory. On Saturday night, though, We had the 2025 Quaker State 400 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Before we get into the racing discussions, I want to ask you, Jake, this question, our audience. How do we feel about Atlanta Motor Speedway now after we've ran this reconfiguration for, I think it's been 4 seasons now? Yeah, it's been 8 total races. How do we feel about New Atlanta?
I mean, it's a restrictor plate track. It is the fastest track on the schedule. I have talked to my dad time and time again. This is a restrictor plate race. These guys are fucking flying around that track. And I love it, dude. I circle Atlanta every year. And I love the night race this past Saturday. I mean, I love it. I mean, I wish it was on a Sunday. Yeah, it'd be awesome because I have nothing to fucking do on a Sunday. But that was a phenomenal race on Saturday.
Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah, you had the big wreck and half the field was gone, but the race after it, and I had to look back because I fell asleep, but man, was that a fucking great race. I love Atlanta, man. I love how they raced it 2 times. You know what they need to do? Stop racing Atlanta at the end of June and put it in the fucking playoffs because that is a hell of a racetrack.
Yeah.
You don't want to get wrecked? You don't want to be a part of the big wreck? Qualify up front then.
Yeah, well, some of the guys that did qualify in the front, Joey Logano specifically won the pole, ends up, getting caught up in the big one in that race. Some
Had my
thoughts
pom
about
poms out for that, man. I loved it.
same with the fans down at Georgia. Like, first of all, like when I saw some of the videos and the highlights of fans excited and all that type of stuff. Couple things in regards to Atlanta. This is now race number 8 we just completed at the new configuration, the new super speedway. And I think that this one was probably the best race that we've watched in a long time. Not just because Chase Elliott won the race, that has nothing to do with it, but in regards to timing of the schedule, number one. And first of all, way to kick off the midseason tournament with that race. Sorry, folks, if you feel
you're gonna do that again.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. You gotta get in. But the one thing is that I love me a good old fashioned Saturday night race, and I don't think we get enough of them in the NASCAR Cup Series season. I don't. I feel like we used to get a ton of them in the early 2000s, right? You had both Richmond dates were on a Saturday night. Bristol, obviously, the night race. 4th of July, Daytona was a night race. Like ever since the old television contract, a lot of these race dates became Sunday night races just because they couldn't fit it in the TV. The only ones that were night was Daytona in the summer and Bristol. Atlanta going to a night race this year was phenomenal. It was an early summer, I would say early summer, excuse me. Early summer race under the lights in hot Atlanta, great racetrack, a lot of fun with a lot of people. But also in regards to the racing itself, I think this is why they did the reconfiguration. Races like this is the reason why. New Atlanta has not failed to disappoint. Yeah, sometimes the racing could be a little bit suspect. It could be a little disappointing at times. Your favorite driver may not. People bitch and complain. They'll be like, "Well, it's not real restrictor plate racing because we're not getting, last lap pass." Well, we got one on Saturday night. It was to me. Them racing down there on Saturday night made my whole entire season. It really did. And we did the Pocono Tailgate 2 weeks ago, and that was a hell of a time. But racing Saturday night at Atlanta to start the in-season tournament was incredible. It was remarkable. And in regards to the racing itself, yes, the big one happened. It took out a lot of the favorites. Took a lot of favorites out in the bracket as well. But it was when the big one ended up going away, you heard Denny Hamlin say it on Actions Detrimental. He's like, yeah, I wish I was a part of that because there was not that many cars. The big one actually saved that race because of the aerodynamics of the car. You ended up getting a run, and when you got the run, you took it and you went into the lead, or you fell backwards and you climbed yourself back up. But you were still pack racing though. They still had the pack, they were still in the draft. But at the same time, you bit and you kept biting into the next position. You kept doing different types of stuff. unlike Talladega and Daytona, which I love to death. Whereas if you just get the one line running all the way up, if you get in front of that line, you're basically in the lead. Not in Atlanta. Atlanta, you actually had to have strategic passes in order to get into the front of the pack. We saw it with the 9 all night. We saw it with the 9 all night after the big one.
The 9 and the 6, back and forth.
The 9 and the 6, yeah. The 9 and 6. And
got to give Brad K some love there, but he was
and
racing hard.
And
the 45
well.
was, yes.
Tyler Reddick. Reddick got a bunch of great passes going. Alex Bowman put himself in the position. Eric Jones was a guy that
Bowman blew that fucking race on his own.
Yeah, he did. But at the same time, like a guy I look at in that race, Eric Jones. Eric Jones had a lot of problems, and he ended up spitting out and causing one of the cautions. Let's get into the final stats before we get into the deeper topics of Atlanta. Final stats, all courtesy of NASCAR.com. Saturday night's Quicker Save 400 available at Walmart. Final stat line coming out of Atlanta from Saturday night. Race winner was Chase Elliott this week. He finished first. Brad Keselowski finished second. Alex Bowman finished third. Tyler Reddick finished fourth. Eric Jones finished fifth. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. finished sixth. Zane Smith finished seventh. Ty Dillon finished eighth. Chris Buescher finished ninth. Carson Hocevar finished 10th in this race. Your top 10 in stage one was Austin Cindric won the stage, followed by Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, William Byron, Carson Hocevar, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Josh Berry, Shane Van Gisbergen, Chase Elliott, and Bubba Wallace. Stage 2 top 10 was Tyler Reddick, Chase Elliott, Chris Buescher, Alex Bowman, Eric Jones, Ty Dillon, Shane Van Gisbergen, Zane Smith, John Hunter Nemechek, and Brad Keselowski. Final laps led in this race on Saturday night. Chase Elliott led a total of 41. Brad K finished with 46 laps led. Alex Bowman led 32. Tyler Reddick led 18. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. led a lap. Zane Smith led 5. Chris Buescher led 15. Ty Gibbs finished the race with 32 laps led. Ryan Preece led 3. Then we had Justin Haley led 3 laps. Riley Herbst led a lap. Joey Logano led 51. Austin Cindric led 12. So those were your final laps led in this race. So going back to what we were saying, though, and again, all final stats courtesy of NASCAR.com. Going back to what we were saying, though, in regards to, the racing itself, there was not that many people led laps in that race. Yes. In regards to other races in the season, yes, there was a lot of race leaders. But in regards to a restrictor plate race, there was not that many there wasn't that many lead changes in regards to laps led. Excuse me, folks. This track alone, why I love it is because it's very strategic. It's not run a freight train for 260 laps and hope for the best. If I'm in the front of the pack, all of a sudden I'm going to get dragged right into the front. No, there was strategic passing the whole entire night. One of the key highlights for me, I wrote down, Jake, was when Brad Keselowski and Chris Buescher were 1-2 late in that race. But Brad Keselowski was in the lead. Buescher had no intentions of passing him. But what they did was they ended up going into the corners. Basically, Brad went high, Chris went low. And what they were doing, as they were saying on the booth, they were basically essentially cutting the draft. They were cutting the draft. Now, granted, eventually Reddick on fresh tires got around Buescher and shuffled Buescher all the way back down to 9th. The other thing, too, is let's talk about the race winner, Chase Elliott. Why I think that this win was very, not just critical, because we talk about all of his 20th or better place finishes. This was a Chase Elliott. I don't think I've ever saw this type of Chase Elliott. I really don't. He really was he was an aggressor.
Oh, yeah. He was aggressive all night.
Chase Elliott, to me, always runs conservative, try not to beat the equipment, not try to make anyone mad. Saturday night, you could tell that the 44 race winless streak was eating him alive.
Well, I think he was tired of hearing about all the fucking publicity behind him.
Exactly. I mean, Kyle Petty also didn't help calling him out later this past week saying, why is the most popular driver in NASCAR only have 1 win in 84 races? Now, at the same time, in regards to Chase Elliott, it's like, he had a great car. He timed his passes perfectly, and he kept climbing up the ladder. Like I said, he kept climbing up the ladder the whole entire time. Listen, folks, with 5 laps to go, he got shuffled down to 6th. When he got shuffled from all the way down to 6th place, I'm like, there's no physical way I believe that the 9's going to come back up and win this race. None. But every single lap, he strategically placed himself in a position to make that next pass. Then all of a sudden, he kept climbing and climbing and climbing. 1 lap to go, presented by Carry One Bank. Ha, kidding. Chase Elliott ended up getting to Brad K, going into turns 1 and got underneath of him. Ends up passing him, and I gotta give the Unsung Hero award this week to Alex Bowman.
Yes, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Listen, Bowman could have went for that win and tried to push Brad to put himself in contention to make it 3 wide going into turns 3 and 4. But instead, Bowman ended up not helping Brad out. Brad lost the draft. I mean, in regards to losing the draft, he started falling back with no pushes from Alex Bowman behind. And it was just too late for Brad to make another move on Chase Elliott.
It's like they said, they're like the 48 can't go behind Brad. He's got to go down. And is exactly what he did. He went down, took the low line, took Brad way out of the race. For like, I'm going to block your air circulation here. You're done. And Brad fell back. As soon as the 48 went down and went right next to Chase, the 48 didn't have the momentum to win.
No.
But Elliott had the draft to go with him. And literally Bowman came down, put the dirty air right in Brad's grill, and back went Brad. I mean, that is a teammate helping you to win. That is a phenomenal teammate. And I will tell those people all the time, like, yeah, I get it. Everybody talks about, like, oh, is there actually really teammates in NASCAR? Like, do guys really help them out? Like, are they buddies? This, that, and what? Saturday night proved it to you.
Yeah. I mean,
Alex Bowman could have won that race if he really wanted to.
Yeah.
But Chase Elliott owes him everything for that race because he is the reason. I'm not saying he's the reason, but he's a huge reason why he won that race.
Well, because here's the whole thing. Brad could have backed up easily, and if Bowman's right behind him, now the problem is Bowman going out of line pushed Brad even another car length back in order to get a draft to get pushed back up. You also hold car length behind Chase Elliott going into 3 and 4. Bowman going down on the low line and actually going for the pass on Brad Keselowski destroyed any momentum that Brad Keselowski could have had going into 3 and 4.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, I mean, we talk about Chase Elliott a lot on this show. And, like I said, I talk shit on him a lot. I love Chase Elliott. I do. But I talk shit on him because I'm like, come on, you're too good to be doing this. But at the same time, the one thing about Chase Elliott was on that long winless streak. Alex Bowman's on a long winless streak too. I mean, we're coming up to 36 races since Alex Bowman won a race. The last time he won a race was at Chicago.
Yep.
Yeah, Chicago last year. So it was critical for Bowman to get that car into victory lane just as much as the 9.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like when I look at Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman as drivers, I mean, now I can say it confidently with Chase Elliott winning on Saturday night in Atlanta. And first of all, for all the fans that don't think that Chase Elliott takes this serious, we posted the in-car camera of him winning that race and how ecstatic he was. It literally looked like a kid basically getting just the most amount of pressure you could ever put on somebody, basically like getting that air released off of him.
Dude, I feel you can just watch his shoulders raise. All the stress, all the bullshit, and I'm going to argue this here, but the favorite driver,
most popular driver,
he's lost that at Pocono because Larson actually has the most bought merchandise. He's technically the popular driver. But anyway, yeah, Chase Elliott's a good deal, man. I root for the 9. I do. I root for the 5, I root for the 9, I root for the 48, I root for the 24. I'm happy that Chase Elliott won that race, but you can't shy down from if you are in the NASCAR, you cannot take away what Bowman did.
No.
Bowman could have won that race and took it away. He could have stayed high, pushed Brad out, and put Brad on the high side of Elliott, and then he could have went down and passed him. Everybody want to know that. That's a NASCAR move. And he didn't do it.
Yeah, no, all
That's a
valid points.
teammate right there, man.
It was. I mean, it was a good move by Alex Bowman. Like I said, it killed Brad's draft and momentum to get the car into victory lane, and we went from there. So, in regards to Chase Elliott now, one win, big win the other night at Atlanta. The monkey's off his back. Now we can talk about how confident he is with that 20th place finish or 20th place and higher finishes. Right now, according to NASCAR.com, he's got a 10.2 average finish, 136 laps led, six top tens, 10 top, 6 top 5s, 10 top tens, excuse me, one win at Atlanta. And on top of it, Jake, I think Adam Alexander said it best in the booth after Chase Elliott won this race. Did the sleeping giant finally wake up? Did the sleeping
100%.
giant finally wake up?
I mean, Matt, for weeks we've been talking about it. 20th or better finish. And it, to be honest with you, meant dog shit to me. Awesome, you're consistent. But now that he has this win, scary going into the playoffs. Because you know that he's going to be up there. I mean, Chase Elliott is now, like, to be honest with you, I'll be completely dead honest with you, he is the favorite to win the championship right now. Be honest with you. He is. He has the finishes to show it. And with that win, I'd be nervous if I wasn't him.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a guy, and like I want to talk about this tonight, but I'm just going to brief on it a little bit. DNFs. You got a guy that's got 6 DNFs, and I'm going to bring it up because I hate him. You got a guy that's got 6 DNFs. Does it get to a point that it's like your one win shouldn't mean shit, dude? You didn't finish 6 races all year.
Well,
I was talking about that with my fiance the other night. I'm like, the guy didn't finish 6 races, but he's got a win, but he's in the playoffs. You have guys that have finished every race, and their average finish is 20th.
Yeah.
Why aren't they in? Oh, because you won a race, you're in.
Mm-hmm.
It's this type of shit, and it's not even because it's Ryan Blaney. If it was fucking Kyle Larson, I was doing the same thing. You have 6 DNFs. Oh, you won a race, you're in. That's why I don't like you won a race, so you're in. I don't like that. I don't like it.
Yeah, let's go to Chase Elliott for a second. And like you said, I mean, is he going to be scary dangerous in the playoffs? I mean, I think when I look at what he's done over the last, what would you say, over the last probably since he's won the championship, he's always a threat to make the round of 8. When he's in the playoffs, he's always a threat to make the round of 8. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts or questions about that. His consistency is always going to lead him into the playoffs.
Yeah.
In regards to him being a massive threat, like I said, did Adam Alexander raise the question? Did the sleeping giant wake up? Possibly. I'm still skeptical of it.
I mean, Matt, he can win this weekend.
Oh, he can win this weekend. I mean, listen, there's a lot of tracks. I mean, now what I'm excited about and what I'm more interested about now in regards to Chase Elliott, I said this with William Byron. I said this with Christopher Bell earlier in the season. Put a win in the bank and go for gold. Go for it. Chase Elliott, for me, right? First of all, you have no stage wins. That's going to absolutely crucify you in the playoffs. You need to get those stage wins. But at this point, if I'm Chase Elliott and Alan Gustafson, I'm making cars to go win a race. I don't care where I'm at with points at this point. Yeah, the consistency and all that's good, but you got to pull a page out of the Larson playbook or something like that by going out there and just records or checkers. Go for it. You clearly have the capabilities of winning races. You clearly have the capabilities of a race-winning car. Stop running scared at this point. Stop running conservatively with points. Go win races.
I mean, dude, now you got to think about it. You want to race, you're in. Now you got to get playoff points.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and do I think the sleeping giant woke up? I don't.
No, I don't either.
It was a massive win. Don't get me wrong. It was a massive win. He finally put his car in victory lane, and it's like, wow, great job. Finally, Chase Elliott's here. Really happy to see that. But at the same time, if he goes into the playoffs, in my opinion, and let's just say he's got 2 to 3 wins in the bank going into the playoffs, yeah, I'm sitting there saying, damn, the 9 car is the car to beat. But how many times have we seen this over the last couple of years on championship runs? Logano just did it in 2024, right? Was winless for so long in the beginning of the season. All of a sudden, he wins in Nashville. All of a sudden, he gets on this hot run, and all of a sudden, he's the champion of the sport, right? We saw it with Ryan Blaney. This is the time of the season where we start going, okay, all you got to do is get hot and consistent. Well, he's got the consistency down pretty damn well. Now it's like, let's get hot, let's get these stage wins, let's get some more wins behind into the bank, and let's go make a run at another championship. Because I'll tell you right now, 2022, that was the one thing that this team screwed up and didn't do well enough, was winning more races in the regular season and gaining more playoff points. Granted, he won the race at Talladega in 2022 that saved him basically into a round of 4, or he would have been eliminated. He had a horrible run the whole entire time in the 2022 playoffs. Don't repeat 2022. Don't repeat 2022. Go out there, go win races, go get another one in the bank, and go just records or checkers at this point. You're locked into the playoffs. I know that there's an opportunity, and I know there's a chance that people are like, well, we may have, 17 winner. That's not going to happen. You have multiple road courses coming up, so we already know probably SVG is going to be in contention for one. The other one's maybe AJ Allmendinger, but Colleague Racing gets so faded in these road course races. Then you got Dover, you got Indy, you got Richmond, you got Iowa, you got all these tracks that you're probably going to see some repeat winners coming up very soon, in my opinion. Going off of Chase Elliott, before we get into the next topic from Saturday night, Jake, a couple comments in our Blown Engine chat line. Ryan checked in. He goes, thank God he won in regards to Chase Elliott, paid his way into the playoffs. Yeah, pretty much locked himself into the playoffs. Then Jack checked in. He goes, Brad years ago wouldn't have let that pass happen. As a car owner, I think he raced differently now. Let's talk about Brad Keselowski.
100% agree.
Let's talk about Brad Keselowski. So, obviously, we were talking so highly about Chase Elliott and the move that he made with 1 lap to go, all that type of stuff. Brad Keselowski, in my opinion, was very aggressive at the end of the race. I just think he slipped up at the wrong time, let Chase Elliott get around him going into 1 and 2. But the one thing, like I was saying with earlier in the show, Brad Keselowski, Chris Buescher ended up, when they were 1-2 behind each other, they were kind of chopping that draft out and all that type of stuff. That was helping Brad Keselowski basically tick laps down on the time clock. Once Tyler Reddick knocked Chris Buescher out of second place, the whole entire game completely changed on Brad Keselowski. Brad all of a sudden now needed to defend every single line going into the turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, and turn 4, and on the backstretch when the runs were coming. Brad, in my opinion, did a very, very good job of doing it. He did. The problem is that he got outraced by a better car that night.
No, I 1,000% agree. I mean, I didn't see the ending live, but I rewatched it. I was disappointed. And like Jack said, I mean, years ago, do I think Brad would have been 10 times more aggressive? Oh, yeah. Brad wasn't a guy to say, I'm going to let you go around me. You're going to work for it. And I personally think once he let Tyler Reddick around him, he was finally a top 5 finish.
Yeah.
That was it. I'm not going to wreck my car. I'm going to finish the race in the top 5. And I mean, dude, you go back to it. I mean, dude, Dale Jr. did it at the end of his career too. I don't want to wreck the car. I'm not going to be that as aggressive. And I think Brad, I own this car. I don't want to wreck this car. But dude, when you I don't think he would have beat Elliott in that race. I don't. But say he had the better car. Why did you back down? I get it. Tyler Reddick took you out of the race, kind of. He basically did, but you came back up there and let Bowman put that pass on you. Why didn't you try? He was not aggressive at all to pass Bowman, at all.
Yeah.
He was just, I'm in third place. I'm going to finish. Brad, you're not going to make the playoffs in fucking points, dude.
Well, so that's the interesting thing. This is what I'm saying. I'm a little disappointed with Brad Keselowski. I thought he could have been, in my personal opinion, should have been a little bit better in regards to breaking that run by Chase Elliott. And he had the room to do it going.
He did.
Across the start finish line. Brad Brad Keselowski, in my opinion, has done a pretty good job as of late, right? He finished second at Atlanta, finished ninth at Pocono, 25th at the Mexico City street course or road course, 10th at Michigan, 23rd at Nashville, and 5th at Charlotte. His season's kind of turned around since Charlotte, right? He's got 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s in those last 6 races. Obviously, the outlier being Mexico City, and then he had a bad race in Nashville. Maybe there's something and Brad going. Excuse me, folks. Going to the point about Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski over the last couple of weeks has jumped up in the points up to 27th now. But agreed in what you're saying. You're not getting in on points. There is a bunch of tough tracks coming up that are not Brad Keselowski tracks.
Nope.
And if you're a Brad fan, I'm sorry. I don't want to break your heart. You got the street course, which he is not a road racer whatsoever. Then by the way, you follow that up with Sonoma on the road course. Dover, RFK has had some success as of late.
Not him.
The only thing I can sit there and say is that they must be circling in the Brickyard 400. I don't know how, but like he's got to feel confident about the Brickyard, Iowa, Richmond, and Daytona. Like those are his tracks at this point, because if he does not win in one of those races, there's no way in fighting chance that he's going to make the playoffs. That's why I was disappointed when I saw the 6 car on Saturday night, because he should have blocked the 9. He had room to do it. That was his win. And unfortunately, he kind of just like, I don't want to say he didn't give up by any stretch. The problem is that he did not defend. And that's not what I'm used to seeing with Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano are like the 2 best defenders in the Cup. And how Brad did not see that run Foreman, or how TJ Majors did not see that, was kind of disappointed, because he had room and opportunity to block the run. He didn't, and ended up chasing. And like for him to bank on Bowman to follow him, like, and push him up, that wasn't going to happen either. Because honestly, at that point, Bowman would rather see a Hendrick car in victory lane over a Brad car. But like I said, good. I mean, things are pointing up for the 6, but it's almost that, is it too little, too late?
It's too late. Like, I mean, out of the races that you said, I mean, just watching Brad through his career, I mean, Iowa maybe, Richmond's probably the one that he probably could win, but it's just and we're going back to what Jack said. Brad is content with a top 10 finish in a clean car. That's not how you win championships.
No, and that's let me ask you a question. Are we almost at that era with Brad Keselowski where his championship window is complete? It's done? Because if this is the Brad Keselowski that we're going to see moving forward, and and like, I get it. Listen, it's a drafting track. From a guy sitting on a couch watching the race, I can go, oh, he could have blocked that. That's easy. I mean, granted, I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know what the hell. I mean, at the same time, though, like a couple years ago, 2021, I mean, he literally blocked his teammate at the Daytona 500, and him and his teammate both wrecked out of that race in 2021. That was not the same Brad Keselowski I saw at Atlanta. It just wasn't. And it's like, if this is the Brad that we're going to start seeing moving forward, yes, these top 10s, top 5s are awesome. They're cute. It's raising his points standings up a little bit. It's elevating him a little bit. But at this point, you have to win the race. You have to win a race. You are 27th with what now? We are how many weeks away? I think we're 8 weeks away from the playoffs.
I'll tell you this. He wins a race, he's scary. If he wins a race and continues the race the way that he's been racing this past few weeks, you can't count him out. But yet again, if he wins a race and becomes conservative Brad,
you
made the round of 12, you're gone.
Which he did in the playoffs last year.
Yes.
Which he did in the playoffs last year.
Exactly. You're just going to continue to repeat. I think if Brad wins and continues to race with a little bit more of aggressive, I ain't going to let you by me, like a little bit more grit. Like, no, you're not just going to fucking drive right by me. Brad's scary to race against.
Well, that's why
give me Brad 10 years ago when he didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, well, and that's why I'm sitting there saying, like, Indy might be like that track that he circled. I mean, let's recap last year. I know Larson won the race and him and Blaney, but they did one more they did one more caution lap out of left field before the pace car was going off pit road, and the pace car came back on the pit road because they were going to do one more caution lap.
Yeah, that's the famous give it to the golden.
But guess who? But no, and that's fine. But guess who? Guess who was in the lead when that caution lap happened? Brad Keselowski. Guess what happened to Brad? He ran out of gas. They had the gas to go the distance, and that's
he could win the Brickyard 100%. But you're going to race against those two cars you just said. Larson knows that track very well, and Blaney races it very good.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not saying that Brad's the surefire favorite. I'm not saying that at all. But like, if I'm him and I'm RFK Racing, like, there's only a few tracks I can circle on the calendar for maybe a Brad win. And like I said, that's Indy, that is Iowa, that's Richmond, and that's the Glen, or not the Glen. Excuse me, Daytona. Now his teammate Buescher might end up winning the Glen. But I will say this, and kind of as a whole, to wrap up the Brad Keselowski discussion, as a whole, I think that RFK Racing, if they can just find their cars in the victory lane and punch their ticket in, Buescher could be a problem in the playoffs. Chris Buescher is a driver I think people are sleeping on right now. And there's some tracks that Chris Buescher, I mean, I don't think he's going to win a road course. I don't. He's very good, consistently top 10 and all that type of stuff. But Richmond, Daytona, Indy, like Dover, I mean, those are 4 tracks I'm sitting there going, yeah, you know what? And he won the Glen last year. So that's not impossible for him to win the Glen again. But if Buescher is able to punch his ticket into victory lane, Chris Buescher is going to be a massive problem in the playoffs. And I'll tell you this as well. I mean, I think all 3 of them could be a massive problem if they punch their tickets in the playoffs. They have to win. All 3 of them. I mean, Buescher's fine on points, but Buescher has to win to neglect the penalty that he earned earlier in the season off the playoffs.
Correct.
He's -4 on the playoff points. So if he can neglect that by winning a race or maybe winning a couple stages along the way too, then Buescher could be, he could be safe. But again, Preece can also be a problem as well. Ryan Preece has been very good this season, folks. He's been much better than advertised. And I'm going to tell you, any 3 of those RFK drivers, if they're able to punch their ticket in the victory lane, they will be a massive problem in the playoffs.
No, I agree. I mean, with the whole -4, you go into the playoffs with -4, you ain't make it to the. You're not making it.
No. Unfortunately,
unless you win a race,
which you can.
But
he can, but like you're saying,
you can finish second in all of them. You're not making it.
Yeah.
I mean, you might make it on hopes and dreams, but.
All right, so Jake, so we had a lot of fans that were confused this past week about the mid-season tournament, the tournament bracket. So for folks listening to us live on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're at, NASCAR this year, and yeah, Saturday night, you probably heard a lot about brackets. NASCAR did an in-season tournament similar to what March Madness was. They ranked the first driver all the way down to 32 drivers in the point standings. Ironically, your boy SVG was not in it after winning a race. But
yeah,
the point is that so the tournament is 5 races. It's Atlanta, it's Chicago, it's Sonoma, it's Dover, it's Indy. The championship race of this tournament is at Indy. The round of 4 is at Dover. The round of 16 is at Sonoma. The round of, I think, did I get that right? Or I might be messing that up. I'm sorry. The championship
rankings came out of qualifying for what's it called?
The last 3 races.
Pocono.
Yeah, Pocono. The rankings came out basically based off average finish from Pocono, Mexico City, and am I missing one in between Mexico City and Pocono? No. No, that's it. So Mexico City.
It was just those 2, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then, like I said, the bracket was formed that way. Well, again, March Madness style tournament, championship races at Indy. Dover is the round of 4.
Yes. Yeah, so it finishes in Indy.
Yeah, everything. Okay, so it goes 2, 4, 8, 16, and 32. So the round of 32 was at Atlanta. The round of 16 is going to be at Chicago this weekend. The round of 8 will be at Sonoma, which will be next weekend. The round of 4 will be at Dover, and then the championship bracket will be at Indy at the Brickyard 400. So tons of upsets this week. So let's fill you in on who's remaining in the bracket. So Ty Dillon ended up upsetting Denny Hamlin. which was very funny at the end of the race. He said, "Hey guys, I knocked your favorite driver out. That was great.
Loved it.
Loved it." Brad Keselowski ended up upsetting Kyle Busch. Brad Keselowski. That's a 32. That is a 32 seed against a 17 seed. That's insane.
Which is weird because they're like literally the same driver this year. Like it is an upset, but it ain't an upset at the same time.
Yeah. Alex Bowman ended up beating out Joey Logano at Atlanta. He advanced into the round of 16, and Bubba Wallace took out Daniel Suarez. So it's going to be Bowman Wallace this weekend in the round of 16. John Hunter Nemechek took out Josh Berry. Chase Elliott, obviously with his win, knocked out Austin Dillon. So Nemechek and Elliott are the next matchup in the round of 16. Eric Jones took out Ross Chastain, and Christopher Bell lost to Ricky Stenhouse Jr. So Eric Jones and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., folks. For everyone at home, I'm sure everyone had that matchup in going into the Chicago
Street Course. That's a toss-up.
That's a really weird one.
That's who wins doesn't wreck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'm putting my money that Recky's gonna wreck.
Yeah.
Chase Briscoe was the number 2 seed. He was knocked out by Noah Gragson. So Gragson will be facing 15 seed Ryan Preece, who took out William Byron. So Gragson and Preece will be the round of 16 matchup. Carson Hocevar knocked out Ryan Blaney, your boy, anybody but Blaney. He's the 26th seed against Tyler Reddick, the 23rd seed, who knocked out Kyle Larson this weekend. So Hocevar and Reddick will face each other in the round of 16 at Chicago. AJ Allmendinger knocked out Michael McDowell, and Ty Gibbs knocked out Justin Haley. So Allmendinger and Gibbs match up in the next round. And finally, our final matchup of the round of 16 will be Zane Smith, who knocked out Austin Cindric, that was a pretty big upset.
That's an upset.
That was an upset. And Chris Buescher took out Todd Gilliland. So Buescher and Zane Smith. So your round of 16 remaining drivers is Ty Dillon, Brad Keselowski, Alex Bowman, Bubba Wallace, John Hunter Nemechek, Chase Elliott, Eric Jones, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Noah Gragson, Ryan Preece, Carson Hocevar, Tyler Reddick, AJ Allmendinger, Ty Gibbs, Zane Smith, and Chris Buescher. Jake, before we close out this bracket talk, any upsets this week?
It's hard. Like, what do I say? Like, it's going to be the same time as Atlanta? Just, that's who I think's going to win, then everybody else is going to fucking win. I don't even know who to pick. I'm just at this point, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Chase Elliott's winning the fucking bracket. That's it.
Yeah, well, I mean, at this point, he's like really the only guy left.
Yeah. Every big name's gone. Like,
I am going to go with, I'm going to ride the Ty Dillon wave. Let's go Ty Dillon over Brad Keselowski. That's my episode of the week in Chicago. I mean,
Brad's
I
got
think
a wreck.
Yeah,
for that.
I don't know. Brad's not good at. Brad's been awful on road courses,
and Ty Dillon's horrible at racing a race car.
I'm not faulting that. I'm riding the Ty Dillon wave. I'm going with Ty Dillon as my upset this week against Brad Keselowski. I got Ty Dillon, and then my second upset, I'm going to go with AJ Allmendinger over Ty Gibbs. I think the 22 and 6 matchup.
Nah, see, I like it as a sleeper, but I can't knock out Ty Gibbs on a road course.
You like AJ Allmendinger is a better sleeper than Ty Dillon?
I like Ty. I'll pick Ty Dillon.
Okay. I mean, I like Ty Dillon. I'm riding the Ty Dillon wave. I like it. But
I'll take Ty Dillon. I can't knock out Ty Gibbs.
So that's it. Yeah. I feel like the Dana on a street course over Gibbs. I don't know, but
wait do you hear to know who I'm going to pick to win this race?
So that's the bracket discussion. Final point coming out of Atlanta. For all the folks, for all of our fans that sat there and cried about Amazon Prime and NASCAR. NASCAR's ruining NASCAR by going to Amazon Prime and all that type of stuff. Well, guys, we were back on cable television this past week and on TNT in the True TV broadcast. By the way, folks, we have only got 1.6 million viewers on Saturday night. That was less than all the races that were on Amazon Prime. So, round of applause to all the morons that cried at us 24/7 about Amazon Prime.
complaining about a good broadcast.
Cable, I mean, guys, it's on cable television. There's no excuse at that point. 1.6 million viewers. There was more on Prime than there was on cable television. So come on.
I mean, everybody
You guys
complained
can't-
like, "Oh, I gotta go back and forth from Prime to cable television." Why are you going back? We're watching fucking NASCAR. There's no commercials on fucking Prime. Where the fuck are you going?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a red flag or rain delay. Where are you going? We're going to watch a race in the fucking 1970s. I ain't fucking turning the channel.
I mean, I get I get it during football season if there's like a rain delay. Okay, that I understand, but I think NASCAR knew that they were going to put it on Prime when like it was just NASCAR focus, not football focus as well. So, 1.68 or 1.6 million viewers on TNT. That's cable television, guys. That's that. I don't want to hear ever again about how Amazon's ruining NASCAR when they went on cable television, gave you guys an opportunity, and you still didn't show up. So great job, guys.
Yep.
Finally, final point standing or updated point standings coming out of Atlanta. William Byron remains the points leader. Chase Elliott jumps to second. Kyle Larson is third. Denny Hamlin's fourth. Christopher Bell's fifth. Tyler Reddick sixth. Ryan Blaney is seventh. Ross Chastain is eighth. Chris Buescher's ninth. Chase Briscoe's 10th. Logano sits 11th. Alex Bowman sits 12th. Bubba Wallace sits 13th. Ryan Preece sits 14th. Austin Cindric sits 15th. And Eric Jones has popped into the top 16. Now, that's not playoff points. That is based off of the regular season points. Eric Jones has been on a tear lately.
Yeah.
Eric Jones has been in my opinion, has been an unsung hero over the last like month. And I hope to God he has a good week in Chicago because
awesome.
I would love to start talking a little bit about Eric Jones, who kind of built himself from the ground up. Now, if the playoffs, going with the playoff points, Eric Jones would be out for Josh Berry, and Bubba Wallace would be, Ryan Preece. Ryan Preece would be below the cut line for SVG. So, final standings, again, courtesy of NASCAR.com. Jake, let's get into Chicago picks and wrap this bad boy up.
You ready?
Sorry. Yeah, start it
Don't
off.
fall off your seat. Michael McDowell wins Chicago street race.
Wow.
Michael McDowell wins street race in Chicago.
That's
Dude, I mean, if you look at this, last year he raced pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, well, according to driveraverages.com, I mean, he right now in the Chicago Street Course races, in 2 races, he's got a 6 average finish flat, 1 top 5, 2 top 10s. Now that was with Front Row Motorsports equipment. I mean, with Spire, I mean, who knows? I mean, it's a street racer. I like it. I mean, I do like the pick. My pick this week, I'm going to go to obvious Shane Van Gisbergen.
You can't do that, man. I picked him on Mexico when I took the front runner, and I won.
I don't care. I'm taking the front runner. I'm going SVG. He's in track. He's in Trackhouse equipment. He's got the win. He DNF last year, but he's in an engine failure with colleague. It's the most obvious pick in the motors. It's the most obvious pick this week. Other drivers I like this week, Jake. Give me one more.
I like Ty Gibbs.
Ty Gibbs is a good one. Ty Gibbs, according to driveraverages.com, in 2 races has a 6 flat finish. 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, and he's led 13.2% of the laps.
Yeah.
So that's a good pick. That is a very good pick. My final pick for me this week, I went SVG. I'm going to go pretty dark horse here.
Give me an outsider.
I'm going Todd Gilliland.
Okay.
I'm going Todd Gilliland.
I actually like that pick a lot.
According to driveraverages.com, he's got a 13 average finish at Chicago with 1 top 10. I like it. I don't think he wins the race. I think he gets the top 10, but
yeah.
I think he gets the top 10. Going to our Blown Engine chat line, Jack checked in again. Both legacy cars are doing well in the last month. Yeah, absolutely. Eric Jones, John Hunter Nemechek have been absolutely incredible. I just closed out the standings, but I know Eric Jones jumped to 16th in the overall points, not playoffs. John Hunter Nemechek's right there. I mean, both those legacy cars have been much better than advertised. And in my preseason predictions, this is what I expected from Legacy Motor Club. I really did. They weren't ready to win the races, but I needed them to get much better, progressively much better, and that's what it looks like it's turning out to be.
Yeah, for sure.
You see a legacy car in victory lane this week?
I would love it.
I would.
I would love it.
I would too. I don't.
I
Think
would
either
not
one
be
make
upset
it.
about it.
Last time in Chicago too. San Diego next year.
I want them to go with a bang. Go with a good race. Good race. As long as Bubba fucking crashes into the tires, it's a great race. Do it again. Do it again, and I'm fucking happy.
The only thing I will say is that we had rain in both those events the last 2 years. I'm just hoping that we get.
I looked at the forecast. I don't think they have rain in the forecast on Sunday.
I hope not. I hope not. I would love to. I don't want to see any rain tires. I don't want to see go out with I don't know. Go out with this track actually being dry, and go out with this track actually having a fun time.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I want one more great shebang. Give me a great race. I don't care who the hell wins. Give me a good race.
I agree with you. But all right, so you're going with Michael McDowell, Ty Gibbs. I'm going with SVG, Todd Gilliland. All right, folks, that pretty much brings out the checker flag on tonight's episode of the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. Appreciate everyone joining us live today on Facebook and on our YouTube channel. Again, if you love what you're hearing, follow us on YouTube and Facebook at the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. Also, feel free to follow us on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and why am I drawing a blank? Spotify. Sorry, guys. It's been a long day. It's been a long night. With all that being said, Jake, it's been an absolute pleasure this week. Next week, we'll be talking about the Windy City in the road course, and I guess we'll be in the road course win at that point.
Yeah.
As always, it's been a pleasure. And to everyone listening to us, have a wonderful night. If you're going to Chicago, be safe, have a great time, and we will chat with all of you next week on here live at the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. Good night.
Good night.
Will you tell Mr. Dennett that Ricky Bobby is my best friend, and it's shaking big time.